Yo, 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 what's up, boys? It's your boy back with another video. I wanted to do something a bit different, just kind of out there. I want to do more like React content. So I was just kind of like searching through the grapevine that is YouTube, looking for videos to react to. I came across this video about like Asian women and white men because I've seen that meme before. I think it's called like the Oxford study meme or whatever, about like uh Asian women like liking white men a lot or some shit like that. So I thought it'd be interesting to see like uh Asian woman, I guess, try to defend her or like explain what that phenomena is, because I've always been curious about it. So I have the video on uh 1.5 speed. This is her channel right here. So yeah, definitely go give her a follow and probably watch the video for yourselves. So yeah, with that being said, let's get right to it.
You know what's not very cool? When people assume you're gonna act a certain way because of a stereotype. Like, oh, you're Asian? Well, you must love eating rice with every meal, be obsessed with K-pop, and do skincare religiously.
Okay, wait, it is not what it looks like here.
Look, sometimes stereotypes can be kind of funny and harmless. I admit that sometimes the memes I see about my culture are comforting to see. But like the thing about stereotypical memes and jokes is that they tend to walk a fine line between, haha, so relatable, and well, just saying the quiet part out loud.
And she's totally right too. Like, the thing with stereotype jokes is the people, like, it really just depends on one, what kind of jokes are people making, how informed are those jokes, how funny are the jokes themselves. And then it's also usually just like a matter of the fact that some people will, that's like their entire like joke catalog is just how many racist things can I get off in a, if I can say it in a funny way. So like I have nothing against like stereotype jokes in and of itself, but you tend to like notice a pattern after a while with certain types of people, and you'll notice that you can joke about certain types of people and that's fine, but then other types of people, if you make a joke about them, they have fun. If all of a sudden they get pretty freaking serious, so you got to pay attention to those small little details. But like, yeah, in a vacuum, yeah, no, stereotype jokes can be funny, especially if you can recognize the fact that just because it's a stereotype doesn't actually make it true in the first place, which I think is the most important thing to keep in mind.
Wow. Which brings me to a certain meme about Asian women I cannot stop seeing online. So if you scroll through TikTok these days and you see an Asian woman with a white man, you'll likely see these two words littered in the comments.
Oxford study.
Oxford study.
Oxford study.
Oxford study.
Oxford study.
Oxford study. This study refers to this alleged research by Oxford University that claims Asian women romantically prefer white men over any other race, choosing any white guy, no matter how aggressively mid they are.
How to Oxford study a 5'4" Asian bad king has ever crossed your mind? This is how you're gonna do it easy with 4 steps. Number 1 is to be a tall white guy. You don't even have to be that attractive. As long as you're like a 4 out of 10 and you're like 5'10" or higher, then you're probably set.
And if you're like me thinking, what the fuck? That's so racist and sexist in itself that a study like that can't possibly be true, you'd be right, because the Oxford study doesn't even exist. But you wouldn't know that from the way people talk about it online.
Yeah, the Oxford study is 100% real. No debate. I don't know why they wasted all that time doing a study. I spent 5 minutes at UCSD and I knew that shit was real.
Asian brothers, the time has come for us to rise up against the evil white man for taking away our Asian queens.
Oxford study this. Oxford study that. Can you just let us live?
White people and Asian people in the United States tend to be on the same rung of the economic ladder. I want to tell you, man.
I am a proud victim of the Oxford study. My future children will be products of the Oxford study, and I have no shame that I am just one of the reasons that the Oxford study exists.
Clearly, there's a lot to unpack here. So the whole concept of the Oxford study started when a TikTok user stitched a viral video featuring this couple, saying something like,
"The power of the Caucasian kitty pounder over the Asian female subconscious needs a full Oxford investigation."
Yeah, not the kind of language you'd find in a peer-reviewed journal, right? Even though it started off as a dumb joke, the Oxford study meme is now being used as a way to actively harass Asian women online for dating outside her race.
Whenever I post my...
Nah, bro. Kitty pounder is crazy. That is a crazy, crazy phrase to say. Like, what the hell's wrong with this nigga, bro? I'm actually sick to my stomach.
white fiance on social media, I always get comments that say Oxford study. It is 2024. I think everyone has the right to date whoever they want to. It does come across as obsessing over preserving culture and blaming women for the decline in homogenous relationship.
Like, imagine you're just trying to live your life, posting a cute video of you and your man, and suddenly people in your comments are acting like you personally dismantled Asian culture. Guess we'll have to go tell our ancestors we destroyed the motherland with a couple's vlog.
But see, like that's another thing too. People like to project, right? Like it's all just a basic in-group, out-group bias. Like when people see people of like their in-group, like having relations with people of certain out-groups, right? Like the way some people act, they can't really view themselves as individuals. They have to view themselves in relation to like their other parts of their identity, whether it's like it could be race, it could be economic status, it could be ethnicity, a specific area, right? Like if there's some type of pulling force that connects a whole bunch of people together, sometimes they can take that force and then wrongfully, in my ad, assume that that has to dominate their entire identity when it really shouldn't be the case. And then you kind of end up with nonsense like this where people will, feel like they have to conform to a certain standard and everyone else has to conform to that standard as well. So it can get quite ridiculous in that sense, if you ask me.
All right, that's it. Dishonor on your whole family.
What this meme really exposes is not only a toxic obsession with keeping relationships pure, but also a way to blame Asian women for dating outside their race, as if we're the reason for fewer Asian on Asian relationships. I mean, by believing in something as fake as the Oxford study, you're basically saying that relationships are a weird racial numbers game instead of two individual people coming together in love. We are gathered here today to celebrate the love of... Oh, what's wrong? We need to keep the Asian on Asian marriage percentage at a certain rate. And since you're marrying outside your race, that quota's gonna drop. So I'm afraid this can't happen. Wait, what? That's ridiculous. Who said? People on TikTok. And also a totally real Oxford study that definitely exists. But he's a bit Asian. Asian. Oh, okay, that's probably fine then. Some of the Oxford study apologists say the meme is just about seeing the dating patterns more, as if there's been a sudden rise in Asian women flocking to conventionally unattractive white men. And I literally cannot say that seriously with a straight face. But seeing as the Oxford study doesn't even exist, why don't we have a look at what actual data says? According to Pew and census data, about 70% of Asian women in the US still marry other Asian. And even among Asian women who do marry outside the race, which as you can already see is a small amount, only 11% choose white men. So if anything, Asian women are still very much into Asian men, which begs the question, if this is what the numbers actually show, then why all the moral outrage about who Asian women choose to date?
What is it with like Asian girls these days always going for the most like mid-average white guys? And yes, I get it, looks aren't everything. But when it comes to going for like other Asian guys, they will only go for like the 10 out of 10, the guys who are like K-pop looking crazy guys. Like, if you're gonna date outside your race, I'd assume you'd go for like the guys who are like the top of there, you know what I'm saying? But then these girls will go for guys who are like balding at 19 and they got nothing going for them. I'm not even mad, by the way. I'm just like so curious because like, why is that?
First of all, what do you mean by if you're going to date outside your race, you'd assume we'd go for the top? Like, what? Are we running some kind of interracial dating Olympics now?
And now the interracial boyfriend scores.
Oh my God. What? He's balding at 19 and has nothing going for him, apparently. So what really stands out to me in this bad faith question is the underlying assumption that when Asian women date or marry white men, it's about chasing whiteness, as if race alone is enough to make us settle, no matter how unimpressive the guy is. Now, is that a thing that happens sometimes? Well,
I am a proud victim of the Oxford study. My future children will be products of the Oxford study. And I have no shame that I am just one of the reasons that the Oxford study exists. Because I fear white men are my type. The colonizers are my type. I have been colonized. My future husband will be a colonizer, will be of the Howley race. Like every mixed kid that I've seen, every product of the Oxford study has been a God-sent child. They have been some of the best looking children I've ever seen. Like, I'm setting my children up for success. Like, I'm not shutting down. I'm not saying 100% no to potentially marrying an Asian, but I fear based.
No, there's got to be. She's definitely trolling, bro. This is a troll. Like, and I think sometimes people are taking these freaking TikToks too seriously. She's definitely kidding. So, duh. But like, my children would be a product of the colonizer is crazy too. What the freak?
Off of like my record, I fear my type is white men.
Okay, but like she did say that Asian men aren't completely off the table though. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush about race dynamics. So I think the woman in this clip is Filipino. And as a Filipino woman myself, I actually know exactly where she's coming from. It's hard to explain because everyone's experience with systematic racism is different. But when you grow up in an Asian country, especially one that's been colonized and still struggles with poverty like the Philippines, you're sometimes taught directly or indirectly, that being closer to Western or white culture makes you better or more successful. So when this woman says things like
colonizers
and
I'm setting my children up for success.
it sounds to me like she's just reflecting that passed down belief that being close to white culture or even being half white somehow gives you a leg up in life. And that's less about pure personal preference and more about what you're taught growing up. Now let's go back to this guy. What he's seeing is the other side of the same hierarchy. And as much as I hate to admit it, because I will always be for the girls, especially on this issue, he's kind of right. And not about Asian women flocking to balding white guys with nothing going for them, but about the fact that Asian men are often held to unrealistically high standards. In movies, Asian men have always been boxed into two roles: the awkward foreigner or the martial arts guy who's cool but never even gets to be the romantic lead. Neither of these categories portray Asian men as, I would say, oh, which is insane because come on. I digress. Manny DeQuinto's Filipino, by the way, lady. This whole Asian men aren't full narrative is forced into so-called real-life portrayals too. Like, has anyone noticed that there has literally never been an Asian man on The Bachelor? And the one time they featured an Asian woman on The Bachelorette, I kid you not, she ended up with a white guy. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this stuff. There was a time in the US when American women literally lost their citizenship if they married an Asian man. So yeah, it's hard not to see why some Asian men get triggered when the Oxford study meme comes up. But like, how is it okay to weaponize the Oxford study meme to shame Asian women when both Asian women and Asian men are clearly navigating the same system? Like, do they not see the hypocrisy?
I don't lean towards like Asian girls or white girls, but I just noticed that a lot recently. Like in this day and age, there's so many like people dating outside their race, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Okay, cool, dude. So what's your dating history like though?
Both my exes were both white, so I don't judge at all.
Sorry, what did you say?
Both my exes were both white. Both my exes were both white, so I don't judge at all.
Breaking news. A shocking new discovery out of Harvard University suggests that Asian men overwhelmingly prefer white women over any other race. Just kidding. It seems to me that if we played that game, reverse the Oxford study meme, we'd notice plenty of Asian men dating white women too. And interestingly enough, for the same reasons they assume Asian women do.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
When it comes to dating, there's Asian guys that only date white girls. And if you're one of those guys, dude, I got some news for you. There's a thing where Asian guys that only date white girls, it comes down to the same reason there are some Asian women that only date white guys. It's internalized racism. I'm speaking from experience because in my 20s, when I started dating out of my race, there was a period where I was really fixated on dating white American women. It sounds very cringe to even say that out loud, but it came from a place of feeling like, number one, I was not viewed as attractive in the general dating market as an Asian guy. Fundamentally, there is internalized racism, there is white worship, and it is a very real thing that happens in the Asian American community, both with men and women. So if you're an Asian guy that only dates white women, unless you literally grew up in the Midwest and all your friends were white and you only knew white people, it's very possible that you might be programmed to believe that you need to date white women to be viewed as a compliment.
Now, where have I heard these talking points before? It's very funny that, because I'm Black, just to put that out there, it's very funny hearing these conversations because I feel like I definitely know that I hear these conversations a lot in the Black community as well, in terms of how people view whiteness and white people in relation to their own race, and do they put them on a pedestal? Do they feel the need to overcompensate? Do they give them too much grace? Right? In my personal opinion, me personally, I'm talking for myself, I try to look at everyone in as much of an individualistic lens as I possibly can, because realistically, right, people will cite statistics, people will cite this, whatever, that's great and a general trend type of thing, but on a one-to-one basis, everyone is an independent variable, in my opinion, right? Everyone is their own person, and as such, I really don't try to paint anybody's story, at least if I don't even know them well enough to have an idea of what that story would look like. So I feel like if people did that more, you'd probably run into these issues less.
Confident, attractive guy, and you're doing that as a way of validating yourself as an attractive man.
So I really appreciate this man's honesty, because that kind of self-awareness is exactly what we need if we're going to have real conversations about touchy topics like this. Because see, when someone shares their experience like this, it can show patterns we might relate to, reveal pressures we didn't even think about, and make it way easier to, oh my God, there's birds outside my window. Go, get out of here. Look, there is no easy way to talk about these kinds of topics: dating, race, internalized racism and biases. As an Asian woman myself, It really breaks my heart to see how this Oxford study is affecting my community. Because here's the thing, right? By pretending to officially prove that Asian women prefer white men over other races, including their own, the Oxford study meme gives false credibility to a completely manufactured racial hierarchy. And that's the part that really bothers me, because once a stereotype is branded as research, it gets taken seriously. And over time, people accept it without thinking and just use it to push the same harmful stereotypes about race and relationships that go way beyond the Asian community. Now, I just want to be clear that I'm not accusing this guy of internalized racism just because both his exes are white, by the way. I actually believe that when it comes to dating, Asian women, Asian men, other minority groups, and even white people are all navigating the same systems, just in different ways. Now, for me personally, there have been times where I've wondered if I'd be doing better in life if, let's just say, I wasn't a Filipino woman, okay?
God, how did that guy make this type of confessional look easy?
And the stupid thing about that is that I don't actually believe that being anyone else would make life better, okay? It's just the pressure hits, and for a moment, your brain starts spinning these ugly what if scenarios. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that is super painful to say out loud. But I think it just goes to show how deeply these ideas can get under your skin if
I mean, I think it was also just like a matter of, right, like, you're never, like, people like to do a lot of projecting. And the fact of the matter is, you're never going to have an answer to that question. So, in a sense, it is kind of pointless. But, you know, you can throw in your own imagination, I guess. So it's like, whatever answer you're looking for, there's really no one or nothing to say that you were wrong. So hence it becomes more legitimate in your head, even though it's just complete conjecture with nothing to prove it whatsoever.
if you start playing along with that story. Not that I actually believe it. After all, you're hanging out with me right now, right? At the end of the day, no matter our skin color or how messed up the systems in this world can be, I think we can all agree that most of us want the same thing, which is love and connection. I just don't think we're in as much competition for it as we think we are. And maybe we could all just be a little kinder to each other and ourselves along the way. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it there, guys.
I guess she's speaking facts. She spoke facts at the end there. The only thing you can do is you can just worry about the things you can control. Try to do as much good as you can to other people and yourself, and spread love and joy for as much as realistically possible. Yeah, that's going to be the end of my video as well. Again, check out the original creator of the video. I thought she really did a really good job. And most importantly of all, remember to have a good day.